What's going on, heathens? We're back again with another reaction video. This is going to be different than anything I've done as far as reactions on here. It started out with reacting to music, then it went over to comedy, then I did trailers, and then I have one reaction for the September 11th events, and then I had somebody recommend I react to this, which is Jonathan Pye, and this is an old video he did. It was a rant that he did, I guess around the time Trump got elected, and it was recommended to me by a friend of mine, and they know how anti-political I am. They know that I'm very anti-establishment. I don't like government control and all that shit. And she said it was something that I'm not going to expect. So it should be interesting. I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna post it. Just if I do, cool. If not, you know, whatever. Just don't be an asshole in the comments about it. I'm not a voter because, again, like I said, I'm very anti-political. I don't trust the government, and I think it's all a big fucking game. But let's do this. If you're new here, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. Like I said, don't be an asshole, but please feel free to jump in the comment section. Yeah, thumbs up, subscribe, and feel free to recommend some other stuff. Let's do this.
Morning, morning, morning. Morning, morning, morning. What? No, I only just fucking got here. No, I only just fucking got here. Yeah. Morning, Tim. Morning. Howdy. How was Washington? Great. Fucking sweet. Yeah. What? What? I'm not shocked at all, Tim. Tim, I haven't even been into makeup yet, Tim. I'm not shocked at all. I've been saying this for fucking months. Nearly a year. The moment you think he can't do it is the moment he takes the White House. Of course Trump fucking won. Why is everyone so fucking...
Okay, so I guess this is where Trump just won, because, yeah.
...fucking shocked about? Jesus, the media, the political elite, the pollsters, the markets, you, jaw on the floor. How can everyone be so fucking stupid? Hillary Clinton. What were the Democrats thinking? Hillary Clinton. Don't get me wrong, I wanted Hillary to win. I'd personally vote for Lucifer over Donald Trump. Trump, the pussy-grabbing, wall-building, climate-change-denying, health-care abolishing, tax-dodging, shit-spewing demagogue. How shit have you got to be to lose to that? Where was Sanders? Why wasn't he on the ticket? I have no doubt in my mind that Sanders would have beaten Trump hands down. But instead, they chose Clinton, a candidate who's been cozying up to the banks and dry-humping corporations for years, who was on record telling her corporate friends that you should have a public and a private persona. In other words, don't tell the truth to the plebs, or you won't be able to rip them off.
So I'm going to stop here for a second. I'm going to back it up. I think the reason Sanders didn't make it through is because he's not polarizing enough. Over in the West... people here like controversy. They thrive on controversy and drama, and it's not interesting if you have somebody who is in the middle and shares ideas on both sides. And it's got to be dramatic and extremely polarizing, and it's got to be a freaking gut fight for anything. And it's ridiculous, and everything, especially now with this being 7 years old, from then till now, everything is polarizing. It's one or the other. And yeah, if it's not controversial and polarizing, then it's boring.
That Sanders would have beaten Trump hands down. But instead, they chose Clinton, a candidate who's been cozying up to the banks and dry-humping corporations for years, who was on record telling her corporate friends that you should have a public and a private persona. In other words, don't tell the truth to the plebs, or you won't be able to rip them off. She'll do. That was the feeling.
And see, I wonder if he voted for Hillary just because it wasn't Trump. And I think that's the problem with a lot of voters too, is because whenever, like, everybody has it ingrained, you got to vote for the lesser of two evils, and you can't vote independent because it's like giving a vote to somebody else. And I think that's the problem, because whenever you sit there and you believe that, you're not forcing them to give you more options. You're enabling them to give you this one or that one. And when you've got to decide between those two polarizing figures, who personally I don't think either one of them should be leading the country. But again, I mean, this is just assuming that they actually have anything to do with the direction that the government. I'm just gonna pretend for a moment that yes, they do have a big influence on what decisions are made. But yeah. Anyway, back up.
For years. He was on record telling her corporate friends that you should have a public and a private persona. In other words, don't tell the truth to the plebs or you won't be able to rip them off. She'll do. That was the feeling. What did they think was going to happen? People keep saying to me, how did this happen? They're dumbfounded. But it's so simple. The left did this. This is my fault. People like me. When are we going to learn? The left have given up putting any argument across at all to the point where Clinton is considered left, liberal. On many issues, Theresa May is less right-wing than Clinton. That's just a fucking fact. And yet my friends are on Facebook saying, I'm with her. I'm fucking not. Oh, but she's better than Trump. Sorry, that's not good enough. Clearly it's not good enough. And if I see, fuck me, one more tweet containing a hashtag Trump wins next to a hashtag everyday sexism, I'm going to drop a fucking bollock. Not everyone who voted for Trump is a sexist or a racist. Some of them are,
true.
But most aren't. Most people didn't vote for her, not because she's a woman. They didn't vote for her because she offered no palpable change whatsoever. Same old shit.
And with that, a lot of people did vote for her just because she was a woman, and that was the problem too. She literally offered nothing. She offered nothing. It's just the fact that she was a woman, and everybody was writing. It's the same reason, in my opinion, that Barack Obama had a lot of pull, is because he was not a white guy. And I'm not trying to sound like a fucking racist about that, but that's just the way it is. It's, you know, it is what it is. People look at everything on the surface.
She offered no palpable change whatsoever. Same old shit. Trump represents a change, a terrifying change, but a change nonetheless. Hillary represented, well, she represented very little, actually, because she protects corporate interests, because she doesn't call the police when questions from the debate are leaked to her in advance. I noticed we barely reported that. Not everyone that voted for Trump is a sexist or a racist. How many times does the vote not have to go our way before we realise that our argument isn't won by hurling labels and insults? Tory majority, government, Brexit, Trump. What next? When will we learn that the key is discussion? If you are unwilling to discuss, then you are creating the conditions in which Donald Trump and people like him can thrive. But instead of persuading people to vote, she just courted celebrity endorsements and then lost. What's going on? It's almost as if the political acumen of Beyonce and Jay-Z count for nothing. And then she loses it and loses the election, and she locks herself in her hotel because she's too upset.
I want to stop right there. Exactly. I think a big reason people did vote for Trump is because the left, what they're doing now is they're very, very unwilling to have any discussion whatsoever. And it's a very narrow-minded approach to it. They like to say, well, if you agree with this, then you must agree with all of this. And if you agree with all of this, then you're a racist and you're a bigot. And people don't like being called shit like that. It's unacceptable. If I support one minute thing that Trump promotes, like I have commented on stuff. I've commented on a post on Instagram, and in the same day I've been called a libtard and I've been called a right-wing Nazi on the same post by different people. That's how polarizing it is. You can't have a discussion with anybody anymore. But the fact is that the left pushes harder for censorship of anybody they disagree with, and they label you. And a lot of people don't like that. And whenever you suppress people so much like that, they're going to explode with something crazy like voting for Donald Trump, who is really he's more of a celebrity than a politician. And, you know.
And losing political celebrity endorsements and then lock.
And the celebrity endorsements too, like Jay-Z and Beyonce, like we know that Hillary doesn't give two shits about those two, that she doesn't care about that kind of music. She's just pandering to that algorithm. And they do that every 4 years. They bring up Black Lives Matter, and they turn everything into a big race war. And so they play off of that all the time. And a lot of people know that. And I think a lot of people now, 7 years later, are really catching on to that.
Instead of persuading people to vote, she just courted celebrity endorsements and then lost. What's going on? It's almost as if the political acumen of Beyonce and Jay-Z count for nothing. And then she loses it and loses the election, and she locks herself in her hotel because she's too upset, or because it had never occurred to her to even write a concession speech. Either way, grow up. I have no sympathy for her whatsoever. Be a better candidate.
And locking yourself up like that shows that you can't, you buckle under the pressure. Assuming that being a president is assuming you really have a lot of say being a president. Again, coming from somebody who doesn't believe everything is what it really is, or what it's shown. You can't buckle under the pressure like that. You've got to stand firm on your beliefs and be able to come out and say something. Even if she did get elected, what are you gonna do? You're gonna buckle under the pressure like some crazy shit's been going on recently. How would she have handled that? You can't handle that. You're losing your role as president, or you're losing the race or whatever.
Sympathy for her whatsoever. Be a better candidate. But thing is, I can't say that. I can't say this to any of my friends, Tim. People like me, I'd get fucking lynched if I said this, because people like me won't listen. I did this. This is my fault. Fucking Donald Trump. The left is responsible for this result. Because the left have now decided that any other opinion, any other way of looking at the world is unacceptable. We don't debate anymore because the left won the cultural war. So if you're on the right, you're a freak. You're
100%.
Evil, you're racist, you're stupid, you are a basket of deplorables. How do you think people are going to vote if you talk to them like that? When has anyone ever been persuaded by being insulted or labelled? So now, if you're on the right or even against the prevailing view, you are attacked for raising your opinion. That's why people wait until they're in the voting booth. No one's watching anymore. There's no blame or shame or anything, and you can finally say what you really think, and that is a powerful thing. The Tories in charge, Brexit, and now Trump, and all the polls were wrong, all of them, because when asked, people can't admit what they think. They can't admit what they think. They're not allowed to. The left don't allow them to. We have made people unable to articulate their position for fear of being shut down. They're embarrassed to say it. Every time someone on the left has said, you mustn't say that, they are contributing to this culture. It's time to stop moaning. It's time to stop crying over spilt fucking Brexit. It's time to stop ignoring your opponents, or worse, trying to silence them. It's time to stop banning people from speaking in universities. It's time to stop thinking that reposting an article on your Facebook feed is political engagement, that banning a gymnast from doing what he's good at because he insulted someone's religion somehow achieved something. And sorry, when did the Gymnast Association start thinking it was appropriate to start enforcing blasphemy laws? It's time to realise that reading The Guardian doesn't make you a liberal, that retweeting Greenpeace doesn't lower your carbon footprint. And if my mansplaining is triggering you, you can either fuck off to your safe space, or you can engage and debate me and tell me what I'm getting wrong. Because Trump just won the White House. Being offended doesn't work anymore. Throwing insults doesn't work anymore. The only thing that works is fucking bothering, doing something. And all you have to do is engage in the debate. Talk to people who think differently to you and persuade them of your argument. It's so easy, and the left have lost the art. Stop thinking that everyone who disagrees with you is evil or racist or sexist or stupid, and talk to them. Persuade them otherwise, because if you don't, I'll tell you what you get. You get President Trump. Right, I need to go for a shit and a shave. All right, I might need to have to forego the shit.
That was hilarious. He didn't speak. He didn't bullshit one time in there. He was totally right. And I think the left, they're making the same mistakes, but like it seems like it's 10 times worse. It's 10 times worse. They're still doing the same shit. They're still calling everybody racist and Nazi. They're still trying to cancel people. But I think there's been a lot of pushback too. I think there's being a lot of pushback. I think from the algorithm that I get in my feed and everything, it looks like there's a lot of people who are more pro-Trump even now than they were before. And I think a lot of it has to do with exactly what he was complaining about. But I think also the way they're pushing a lot of woke ideas in kids movies and kids TV shows, and there are a lot of people pushing back with the way they're targeting children now, with a lot of the crazy shit that they're promoting. That's when people are really gonna dig down and push against it. I think possibly between Trump and Biden now, I think between the two, I think Trump definitely has the upper hand. The only way I believe Biden would win is with all of the illegal immigrants he's been letting in. Like, they've been coming, like, hundreds of thousands, even millions of them are coming in, and they're getting given a lot of special treatment paid for by taxpayers, and they're going to be able to vote. I think that if Biden wins, that's going to be what has a lot to do with it. But again, I'm not a voter. I'm just observing, and I watch a lot of videos, and I listen to my friends argue back and forth about it. And yeah, when you try to silence people and take away their right to speak, you're pigeonholing them. You're backing them into a corner. If you're gonna have two polarizing figures that they have to choose from, either the person that's pushing them into that corner, and the only other person left is, But I think it's all a plan. Aside from that, I think it's all a plan. I think the idea is to not have many choices in anything. Like George Carlin said, he said you have two major political parties, but you have 20 different flavors of bagels you can choose from. It's the illusion of choice. I think they've been doing a really good job with keeping people divided among every fucking topic possible. People aren't getting mad about the right things. They're not getting mad about trafficking. They're not getting mad about children being abused. They're more worried about what this football player said in a speech and shit like that, or they're worried about who decides they want to get vaccinated. It's wild. People are getting mad at the wrong things. I think the time period where everybody was locked in their house at COVID, I think a lot of people went fucking insane because they had to figure out what it was like to live with themselves, and they couldn't do it, so they had to sit there and figure out a way to take all their self-hatred on the rest of the fucking world. A lot of people can't handle living by themselves. A lot of people got to go out. They got to be fake around their fake friends, get intoxicated and pretend like their life doesn't suck, and then shout at everybody else and make them feel shitty. And then we all vote. But I thought the rant was entertaining. I agree with pretty much everything that he said. I think he's right. I think you need to stop controlling speech, stop getting offended by speech, and learn how to engage people. Learn how to hear other people's opinions. Understand where they're coming from, why they feel that way, and maybe we'll get somewhere. If the best you can do as far as winning an argument is reporting them on social media and having their posts taken down, then you really don't have much of an argument. It's your inability to argue which makes you look like you don't really have a leg to stand on. But yeah, I could keep going on about how much I think the government is full of shit and how they're controlling people and how the rise of inflation is it's an illusion. I think they're killing the dollar. I think it's going to turn into a one world government with all digital currency. and everything's going to be tracked and monitored. You're going to have a social credit score, and you're going to be controlled. That's what I think. And we're not going to have any choice. I mean, for fuck's sake, if you look at all of the stuff that Trump has been indicted for, whether it's all true or not, I don't know. But it's a fact that Epstein has a list of fucking people who are guilty of trafficking children, and they're not. Nobody's concerned about that. That's how bad people are brainwashed and how they're controlled into being mad about this and not worried about that. But yeah, like I said, I can go on about this forever, but we're gonna stop it right there. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section. Like I said, don't be rude to me or to anybody else. I mean, you can be rude to me if you want. I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me. I'll just ignore you, or if you catch me on an off day, then I'll probably give it back to you. But yeah. Thumbs up, subscribe, recommendations. I'd appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Later.